would like to thank you very much for accepting our invite and for coming to participate with us and share with us during this breakfast event dubbed Dashboard in Excel and Power BI. Since 2006, Sunesys Consulting has been helping clients transform data into actionable insights. The ultimate output is an interactive dashboard that reveals the health of a company. We enhance our clients' staff skills through training in reporting. We also build analytical solutions that make analytics and reporting to management easy and flawless. This morning, our theme is data to decision, and the focus will be on the use of Excel in creating dashboards and analytics using Power BI. This exemplary work has been made possible by our Managing Director, Mr. Patrick Ngodho, who has over 21 years experience in BI solution and implementation. Patrick started his career in the Institute of Advanced Technology. After 11 years of employment in various companies, he decided to set up a consulting firm that would address a gap that he noted in business intelligence. This resulted in the birth of Sunesys Consulting in the year 2005. Patrick was instrumental in enabling Sunesys Consulting Limited sign an MOU with Strathmore University in the year 2014, whose objective was to introduce a training program called Data Visualization in Excel in Strathmore. He also successfully steered the company to be selected to join 33 other companies in the Netherlands Trust Fund NTF3 Kenya project launched in February 2015, whose objective is to work directly with the 33 selected beneficiary SMEs as well as with one industry association, i.e. KITOS, which is Kenya IT and Outsourcing Service Association, in order to increase export revenue of the IT and ITES sector and to create jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I welcome Mr. Patrick Ngodho, who will also introduce our panelists this morning.
Master of Ceremony, distinguished guests, panelists, distinguished members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking time off your busy schedules to come and participate in this event. Business intelligence, as you all know, has undergone major evolution in the past 20 years, coming from an IT department-centered process, majorly managed by the enterprise-level initiatives, to business management-centered process, mainly managed through departmental projects or project teams. According to Gartner, the world's most trusted source of independent IT marketing and supply chain research and advice, and I quote here, the BI and analytics platform market's multi-layer shift from IT-led enterprise reporting to business-led self-service analytics has passed the tipping point. Most new buying is of modern, business user-centric platforms, forcing a new market perspective, significantly reordering the vendor landscape. End quote. The presentations today will showcase real experiences by some senior managers on past challenges they have had in their management reporting processes and how Sunesys enabled them to implement pragmatic solutions. We also expect the panelists to give their perspective on the future of BI dashboards from a user point of view. Sunesys team shall then showcase demos of dashboards implemented in Excel and Power BI platforms that give you a preview of possibilities in self-service dashboards. And I'm sure you've been seeing all that coming through the screen, the kind of sample dashboards we are talking about and what you can have in your own organizations. Before I introduce the two panelists who have been able to grace this occasion, I wish to convey the sincere apologies of Titus Karanja, CEO of KREP, who is unable to be with us as indicated in the invite. I now wish to introduce the two panelists who have interacted with Sunesys in various ways in the past. They will give their perspective with regard to BI solutions Sunesys has offered them and what they feel the dashboard report of the future should look like to enable managers achieve their objectives. I'll start with Joseph Sitati, who is currently the Chief Financial and Administrative Officer at Deacons Kenya Limited, the umbrella company which owns and manages various internationally acclaimed fashion brands. He has been with Deacons Limited for about 3 years now. Joseph is an FCCA, CISA, that is CISA, and a Bachelor of Science Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Nairobi. Joseph started his career from PwC Kenya. He has worked in GlaxoSmithKline, East Africa, Shell and BP Kenya Limited, Old Mutual Group Kenya, Coca-Cola and Central Africa, before moving to Deacons Kenya Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in acknowledging Joseph Sitati. Okay, and the other panelist is Roland Braganza, who is currently the Financial Director of Kuhn & Nagel Limited, a leading logistics company in the world. He manages the East region and has been with Kuhn & Nagel Limited for 10 years now. Roland is an FCCA, CPAK, and BCom from the University of Nairobi. Roland started his career from PwC Kenya, then moved to Marshalls East Africa, before moving to Kuhn & Nagel. In acknowledging Roland Braganza. Now, I wish to welcome Joseph Sitati to give his presentation, and thereafter we shall hear from Roland Braganza.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. When I had this conversation with Patrick, he said, just come and tell us exactly what your experiences have been with the dashboard and where you see it going. As Patrick said, I joined Deacons 3 years ago, coming from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, being a multinational in more countries than the United Nations, has got very fixed methods of measuring performance and results. So they have inbuilt dashboards that, of course, come out of the States and are rolled out across the globe, standardized, and you don't think. You pick it up, you understand how it works, and you move forward. Then I joined Deacons. Deacons is a Kenyan company, started in 1954. It's been around almost 60 years, but it's a local company. No multinational power behind it. The decisions and processes in place are all driven by the people within it. So one of the first things I realized very quickly in the business was we did not have information. What information do you need when you're doing a business like mine? Deacons is a retail business. We sell clothes. I like to tell people we sell underwear. But for information, and this is an interesting thing that a dashboard can give you, 40% of what Deacon sells is what we call basics. Basics, another name for which is whites. Vests, under t-shirts, bras, underwear. And if you go and look at what is the fastest moving product across most of the shops, it's basics. Now, I'm sure none of you knew that. I'll give you another interesting scenario. Unfortunately, there's only like 3 ladies in this room. But from a density of shopping perspective, they'd probably outshop the rest of you guys put together. A lady visits a shop, any shop, to look at at least once every 10 days. And ladies, tell me if I'm wrong. A guy will be forced to visit a shop at least once every 6 months because his wife has insisted or his girlfriend has insisted or something. And one other interesting thing, when you want something as a guy in a shop, you walk in, take it and walk out. A lady will walk through the entire shop, pick what she wants, but she has seen everything else. So how do I get all this information onto a dashboard? So what we started with is I called Patrick and said, first, I want to know how much I'm selling. With 30 shops, it becomes very difficult to get a snapshot of what you're selling. 9 brands, 30 shops. So first you want the information by brand, then you want it by shop, then you want it by week. So immediately I start breaking it down. That way, Patrick says, okay, I have the tools that can give you that information. Drop all the data out of your system onto Excel tables, and I'll format it for you into simplified pieces of information. Now, why is that important? Because on Monday morning, I might not be in the office. But on Monday morning, I will have this gadget with a simple dashboard that can be sent to me on email. I will know, after looking at my dashboard for 5 minutes, exactly how my business performed the prior week. I'll know which shop sold the most, which brand did the best, versus budget, versus last year. But then let's go beyond that, because everybody sees that sort of information. I also look at how many units were sold. I, at any point in time, have between 3 and 4 million units of stock in my business. Various shops have between 30,000 and 60,000 units of stock within their premise. So you have a shop manager. If you go to my shop manager in Junction, at any point in time, he's responsible for between 45,000 and 60,000 units of stock. How will I know that? How much stock am I holding in that shop? 1 in units, 2 in value. Again, a simple dashboard report attached to the sales report. So this is all on sheets. It's no longer a big report that you have to thumb through right up to the end. It's a simple dashboard that can be pictorially represented. Sheet 1 has performance information. Sheet 2 has transaction information. How many transactions happened? How much in stock are you holding in either various shops or by brand? Then after you finish with transactions, I'm a finance guy. Now we talk about money. What was the average transaction size last week? Which shop had the highest average transaction size? Which shop had the lowest average transaction size? Which was the single biggest individual transaction? Now I'll tell you why you check that. Because the next thing you check is how did they pay? By check or by card? Because if it's by check, I make sure the stock did not go until the check clears. Yeah. So there's various little bits of information you can get from that dashboard that will help you monitor your business from an ongoing perspective. After you've looked at transaction size, I now start getting into what other interesting things do I want to measure? What other information do I want to go forward? Just when I came in this morning, I said to Patrick, there's a meeting we need to have because there's an iteration now we want to do to our dashboard. Another interesting measure has come through. I now want to see how are my staff in the various shops performing. So here's a question. How many units am I selling per member of staff? How many units am I selling per square meter? It might not sound like it's important information, but on a per shop basis, it starts becoming very interesting because shops of the same brand are in different parts of the city. I've got a Mr. Price at Galleria, I've got a Mr. Price at the Junction, and I've got a Mr. Price on Moi Avenue. Now, these are same shops, they actually have the same stock. But the unit density or the sales per square meter in units at Moi Avenue is phenomenal. When you go to Galleria, Galleria is actually second and the Junction is third. However, if you go to Truworths in Junction, it will sell more than the Truworths in Sarit. So when you look at the various brands and the way, how does this help you in terms of determining what to do with your business. For me, this is how it helps me. When I get my stock, how do I move it? If you put equal stock in all the shops, you're wasting your time. You need to put more stock in the shop that is selling more units per square foot or more units per square meter. And that is how this information starts to help me. Otherwise, I'll waste money in logistics, moving stock to one shop, then moving it back because this shop is empty and this shop is still half full. If I knew that information in advance, I'd be able to do it a bit better. Now, let me just switch gears quickly and say, what am I thinking about going into the future? I'm now looking at, and this is a trade secret, but I can tell you, I'm going to have a loyalty program in a short while. I know the ladies will smile, the guys are wondering, what are you talking about? But what does a loyalty program do? The loyalty program, of course, rewards you the more you shop. What the loyalty program will do as well, because on the back end of that, I've got a staff program where I've got my staff registered. So I can match staff sales to transactions. I can now know which member of staff is selling what. The next thing for me is to move, because my loyalty program will be digital, is to move my dashboard digital. I want to have a mobile app that I can give my staff that when they click on it, it opens a dashboard on their phone. But I want that app to be personalized. I want a shop member to be able to see what am I selling per day in units, in value. What are my fellow staff members in my brand selling per day? So it won't tell you what so-and-so is selling next to you, but it will say, this is your performance, and this is the average. This is the highest guy, this is the lowest guy, and you are at the 20th percentile or you're at the 70th percentile. Now, why do I want to do that? And why do I want to put it on a mobile app? In my business, I have a very interesting situation. One, not all my members of staff are on email because primarily their job involves walking into a shop, being on their feet the whole day, selling and going home. If they have to sit down at a comp, technically they're not working. Yeah? They can take their breaks and all, but everybody in Kenya today has a smartphone. And for me, actually, the next step is when you join Deacons as a shop attendant, I'll give you a smartphone because it's now a tool of trade. Why? I'll have my mobile app on it that will give you your loyalty information and register you into the loyalty program. I'll have my mobile app on it that will give you your performance data and compare you to what your fellow salespeople are doing. And finally, I'll have an app that has my performance measurement tool that now tells you how, on the basis of the data coming out of the dashboard, how you are performing against your targets. That's where I see the whole dashboard and Power BI world going. And if I can do that, then technically, instead of having to drive down every day to work, I can wake up in the morning, go and play a round of golf, because by 11, all the information I need will be on my smartphone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
He's mentioned his thinking of the future and what he's looking at in regard to BI. I believe by the end of the presentations today, we will have sorted Joseph's thinking. Now, I would like to now welcome Roland Braganza to make his presentation.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you'll understand I've just done some few slides just to understand how as Kulenagal we use these dashboards, and even I'll talk something extra, macros where Sunnis have helped. Now, many people might not know who is Kulenagal. Now, Kulenagal is one of the largest global forwarding company in the world. It's just like people know DHL, people know SDV Bolloré. So there's a company called Kulenagal, and I don't know whether you've seen a lot of our trucks on going Mount Kenya, collecting perishables. So we do a lot of exports from Kenya, logistics. We don't own farms, but we do the logistics from collecting from the farm to the airport. We charter planes daily and into Amsterdam, into Australia, and UK. So we have almost quite a bit, almost 200 tons of cargo per day. Then we are very strong in, that's air freight. Then we do warehousing, very big in warehousing. And then we've got road transport and sea freight, clearance and transport and all that. So that's our big main business field. And maybe just to start, how did we meet Sunis? We sent our team for training. I think they had partnered with Strathmore, and then we said, okay, there's some Excel dashboard training. So we did send our departmental heads to learn about making their own dashboard. And I'll give you examples where our departmental heads, out of 10, 2 performed. You can say started producing dashboard. So it's a start. So a year ago, now we're getting some reports, so some other. And once you start getting information, you'll find that you want to refine it. And those are the way we move. Now you might say that, oh, Kuehne+Nagel, being a global company, has a fantastic accounting software and all that, which it does have. So in terms of financial reporting, various dashboard through they've got their own system called Business Object, we do get. So even if you're working for an international company, you might find you still need certain information for your local perspective, where you cannot just amend international companies' software. So this dashboard was able to give us certain extra information relating to our local perspective. So, and I'm sure each of you all will look at your own company's needs and see how we can improve. Yeah. Is this